The United Kingdom music industry, one of the most prestigious and challenging professions to break into in the entire world. Home to globally known artists such as Adele, the standard for upcoming artists has never been more challenging. Now we follow three music artists who tell us their journey of being in the music industry and what the future has in store for them. Just as it's the start of an exciting roller coaster for one group, it appears to be the end of the road for others. Here in Lincoln, 200 miles away from London, is a small town with a population of 85,595 people. In 1992, the University of Lincoln opened, offering degrees in creative subjects to upcoming students. The university now accommodates for a large portion of Lincoln's population. Many of the students in Lincoln study a creative degree and is partially to blame for the high amount of stranded talent in the historical town. The bands and artists are regularly performing in bars and pubs to locals, hoping for the chance to be scouted and signed up to a leading record label. Here in Kind Bar, a well-known student centre in the town, is 32-year-old Adam Rowe, who has always followed his passion in life for music.
I'm a web designer in the day, and at night I basically kind of run an acoustic night, try and encourage a little bit of local music, more than anything. Literally, when I was about 5 years old, my parents kind of pushed me towards a piano, and we've always had music in our family. Like even when my dad was younger, he was done the same. My granddad made them go around all the clubs when they're younger, and like the family used to perform and stuff. So from a real young age, it's kind of been there. I think a passion, I would say, more than anything.
Every Thursday, Adam hosts a night at Kind Bar called The Collective, a night for bands and solo artists to perform together for an audience. Despite now working in a full-time design job, Adam puts full effort into helping upcoming artists, and more importantly, highlights the fun aspect of being a musical artist, and takes the pressure off being scouted by record labels.
When I was a lot younger, even when I was 12 and stuff, I come from a place called Louth. And every pub, and there was loads of pubs, every pub had live acts all the time. And that now, I mean, I used to run a club in Lincoln, and now there's not a lot of it going on, and you're seeing these big clubs come in, and everyone's just going there, and it's a shame because there's so much stuff. I wouldn't say that I'm helping struggling artists, but I would say it's just opening a little doorway for people to get back out and do it, you know.
Now Adam seems to have come into adulthood and takes on more responsibility in the working world. The concern of his own dreams and ambitions seem to have been pushed back by his dedication to helping the younger artists.
There's 1,000 different ways to be in the music industry. It doesn't mean that you have to be necessarily a performing artist, you know. I work with film companies and stuff like that now. You could just make music for things. And it is, I think, with all things, whether you're an artist or a designer, there's lots of big companies out there, but it's finding your niche. I'm never 100% satisfied. There's always room for improvement, you know. But if you're an artist in anything that you do, you know, you don't write a bit of music, you don't do a painting and go, I'm happy with that. You look at it and think, how can I change that? How can I come back to it? How can I rework it? So I'm happy with my life, but as for what I could do creatively, I think there's always much more depth and scope for it.
Thank you very much. Here at the University of Lincoln, musician David McSherry works as a senior lecturer in audio production. David is also one half of the electronica act Fila Brasilia, who during the early mid-1990s in particular released several albums and singles, as well as over 70 remixes for artists such as Busta Rhymes and Radiohead. David is still making music professionally today, being active in the industry for over 20 years.
It was all DIY for us. We didn't sign to a record label at all. It was, you know, it was important to us to have control of our own music, so we just did it ourselves. took ages. If we were signed to a record label, you know, record labels want to make a profit, you know, that's what they're there for. So they kind of, you know, direct you in a certain direction and want you to write certain types of music. So the music that we wrote was quite unusual in the fact that it had lots of different styles in there. So if we were signed to a record company, I think there'd be more problems. But yeah, there's always problems when you're writing music, you know. You're working closely with one other person or two other people, so it's quite an intense relationship. So yeah, there's sometimes problems. The internet's brilliant for music, you know, it's great for music fans, it's great for music makers. The difficult thing is to try and sort of, if you're into that, is to try and monetize that process. That's difficult, I suppose. But you know, a lot of the time you just want to make your music and have people listen to it. What's the best way for an artist to get recognised? I would say just be very good at what you do. You know, write interesting music and believe in your own music. You know, there's no point faking it and pretending. You may as well, you know, do something completely different now. Surprises always happen. You know, things like Facebook and Twitter. Just no one could have predicted those things, and there'll always be things that no one can predict. So there's no point even trying, really. Just have a good idea of what's happening now, and you know, be involved in your music making and the technological sort of process that are available to you presently.
Alex Grubcock and Jade Davis are two girls who also had a dream to become recording artists, and lucky for them, award-winning director and choreographer Gary Lloyd, who has worked with many establishing artists such as Robbie Williams, Cliff Richard, Tom Jones and Pink, to name a few, scouted them and helped them secure a record contract, beating a nationwide search for the next big girl band. The girls are here today at Ivanhoe College in Leicester as part of a UK school tour to promote themselves and their new music. The duo are the latest signing to 679 Artists, home of Plan B, Marina and the Diamonds and Little Boots.
So I'm from Leicester.
And I'm from Milton Keynes originally.
But we're living in London. But we met at college in Leeds. We both went to the same performing arts college, and I used to give Jade a lift down the motorway at the weekend, and that's where we made friends. We used to sing Riding Solo, didn't we? Well, both of us have always sang and danced from when we were kids, but like, you never dreamed that maybe you'd be a pop star one day. It's kind of like you want to be it, but you never expect that to happen. But Jade and I both went off to college from 16. We were doing singing and dancing. But we expected that to go into kind of musical theatre or music videos, but then the opportunity came up and Jade and I took it. So I think the point of Oh My is not trying to do anything, it's literally just being ourselves, and that's the reason that the label really liked us, because Jade and I have kind of, we always say we're like chalk and cheese, but it's opposites attract, and the chemistry that we create is, you know, it's you can kind of see it on stage, we like it behind the scenes, we have a good joke, and I think it connects, and you can kind of see that from the outside. But I mean, obviously we get help with styling for video shoots.
Alex and Jade received their deal over a year ago. They will only just be releasing their first single, Dirty Dancer, on November 14th on iTunes, showing a long process of creating Oh My and finding a gap in the market for their music.
Like we've met Adele and Wretch, Pro,
Rizzle Kicks.
So meeting them, it's kind of been a high.
Getting starstruck just reminds you what you're doing, do you know what I mean? You kind of meet them and you remember like, oh my god, this is what I'm going into, and it's just nice, it just brings you back down and you remember kind of how exciting it is what we're doing.
So, as the music industry remains as hard as ever to break into, it appears that the diversity of professional and struggling artists have one thing in common: the appreciation towards social networking and the ability to represent yourself to be whoever you want to be. So, to those worried that they will never professionally be a musical artist, we have this to say.
If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then you should be doing something else. And if you do enjoy what you're doing, then just keep doing it. And make yourself interesting to people, otherwise no one will care.
You always say YouTube.
I always say YouTube.
It's a good way of getting yourself
Just
out
putting
there.
clips on YouTube and then maybe doing a cover and then tweeting it to the person and then so they maybe catch your eye. And
I always
that
say
sounds good.
get out there, do gigs, try and get a few gigs at different places so you get a performance experience. It also gives you the chance for people to see you, and you know, if they like you, you never know who's watching. They might have connections somewhere, so you just got to keep going really and present yourself. If you've got a strong image, you've got a really tight thing going on, then go down to the labels and present your stuff, send off demos. You've just got to be persistent.